Okay, it's 6:30. We're going to go ahead and call our work session meeting to order. Our first item is the Municipal Services Committee. Chairman Ed Long.
Thank you, Mayor. We've got a pretty full agenda tonight, so we're going to delve right into it and see if we can get through. I understand that there's a team playing tonight that probably some people want to watch, so we'll see if we can get through this in a decent time. The first item is an ordinance to amend Section 2 of 579 of the Code of Cabot declaring an emergency for purposes. Brian, that one is you.
Thank you, sir. I don't know what to do with that. It's where my notebook needs to go. So what we bring before you is a request for a modification of the language in the code concerning change orders. I think I've told you in recent years, months, that when we've brought some, I think one of you asked me a while back about why are we seeing these? Well, number one, I will tell you that when I worked here before, we did not know about this section of the code. We operated under the 10% rule of contract value as a change order amount, and we moved on. Our very intelligent city attorney found this in the code, and he's also a rule follower, which you would expect. So we're abiding by this language, and it becomes a little cumbersome when dealing with change orders. The number one reason we bring this request is that the $10,000 limit is, we feel like it's antiquated, and it causes us to bring parade very pedantic, small item change orders before this council. Things that you wouldn't otherwise see. The 20% standard, there's both a cap on the amount of a change order, but there's also language that says you can't exceed 20%. Well, the state code is consistent with 10%. So we've exceeded the percentage capacity, but we have a very low cap. So we're given this, as I understand it, and Ben, correct me, I think this came from the early 80s. A $10,000 change order was likely a very large amount. Today, we eat $10,000 for breakfast, unfortunately, on some of the size of our projects. So we would just ask you to consider that language and amendment to the code.
All right, I've got to jump in here.
Okay.
We were not doing anything violating any state statute or anything else. It was okay, let me finish. It was in our code. It had been adopted by this council. And we were following our ordinance, is what we were following. Our ordinances can be less restrictive than state. We can't be more liberal than what they put, but we can be less restrictive. So what we're doing now is not a violation of anything.
No, sir.
It is what this council, back whenever it was decided to do. Now, you're asking us to change that, and we're willing to look at that. But I want to make certain that everybody understands that we've not been just shooting from the hip on this thing. We've been doing exactly what our ordinance called for.
Yeah, forgive me if I implied that. That was not my intention.
All right, let's go ahead now and talk about this. This thing is pretty important, so I want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to say something. Corey, have you got any questions you want to address to either Ben or to Brian about it?
Yeah, you said in the 80s, and the ordinance says 20 years. So what is it? How old is the $10,000 limit? Is it 80s or is it 2003?
I don't have a copy of the original with me. The original ordinance that developed this code was from, if I recall, from the 80s. Do you have a copy of that before you, Ben?
So because of some of the way the code is done, we weren't able to track it back as far. that language for 20 years is me being conservative with it because I didn't want to overpromise. It is the 10,000 number goes back at least to 1996. The change order goes back to at least 2003. So that's where that I don't want to overpromise. It is very likely much older than that, but I don't give you a number that I can't back up. So that's why.
Thanks. And do we have any idea of like how many of the change orders that we've done in the last year or so would comply with the 10% rule?
How many have we done in the past year?
Yeah, like I was going through like historical bids to see like what 10% would look like. Do we have an idea of?
Of something that you've seen
Yeah.
recently? I think the most memorable is likely the Rogers Group overlay project. We extended it by, let me first say, we extended it by some 20 some odd percent, which we were adding some overlays because of a good price. So that's one that you've seen that exceeded. We did one for, I remember this is recollection, so forgive me. When we were doing City Hall, the City Hall project was about $1 million job, nine something, and we needed some waterproofing, and it had a $26,000 change order. We had to bring a $26,000 change order before this body, where ordinarily operating under the 10% rule of thumb, you would not have seen that.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's kind of my concern is if it's $1 million job and it's 10%, that's $100,000 that we're approving. I mean, I know it says to come back to the resolution, but
Sure.
you know, I think maybe the dollar limit, if we could adjust the dollar limit for inflation for when it was originally passed, that might make more sense for the spirit of the original regulation. But I'm done. Thank you.
Okay.
Ron? Maggie? Brandon? Stephen? Matt? James?
To make one point for clarification, that this body will have some oversight, because if we go above what a job was approved for or budgeted, then a resolution by this body will have to be approved to approve more than what was budgeted. So it will come before us, but not in the middle of the flight.
On a day-to-day basis, correct.
Hi, Mr. Ed, what's your thoughts?
I'm all for trying to expedite stuff as much as possible. I really am. And I know that some of this stuff becomes, time is of an essence, so to speak. It's not as critical now since we meet every 2 weeks as it was at one time when we was meeting once a month and things had to float around. I think the spirit of this is more in line with what the legislature did during not the last session, but the session before that, whenever they raised the purchasing power, whenever they made an emergency purchasing power raise in there, where they tried to clean up some things and make some things a little more able to be expedited from their end of it that they started feeding down. I have to agree with Corey to a certain extent. I would like to see a dollar limit on it, but I don't know what that dollar limit needs to be. So I don't have anything to offer on that. I think all in all, I think the spirit of it is something that we really need to seriously consider doing.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you too, and Corey. So, I mean, some of these jobs is, $15 million, $10 million. That 10% can get up there pretty fast. That 10% could raise a pretty big number.
Anybody from the audience got any questions, comments, or concerns on this? Mayor, you're the one that has to deal with it on a daily basis. Can we hear from you? I know exactly what you're going to say, and I don't disagree with it, but.
Well, I totally agree with the council, and I'm glad we get to bring this stuff before the council so you all can see it. and see what we're doing, because we have so much going on. Sometimes I forget to tell you, just like when I walked in, I was like, I didn't tell you about this one thing, did I? And you went, nope. But anyway, I think these big jobs you're talking about, 10 million, 15 million, we're going to have to come in front of you anyway. That's not going to be the case, because it's going to bust the contract. I mean, that's not going to, I don't see how it conceivably happen.
Yeah, as
I
tight
think-
as the contracts
think-
have been lately,
I
you're
think
right.
Brian's more talking about a $50,000 job. Before, we'd have to come in, what was it, 1,500 or 10%? 10,000 or 10%. So if it was a $20,000 change order, we're coming in for that on something that, there was, you broke into the wall, and now there's, it's damaged, and they're having to fix the brick inside and fix the insulation, and they have to go down in the footing, and another 20 grand. I think that's the spirit of this. I mean, I agree we need some amount in there, not to exceed the contract or something. I don't know how you'd put that in there, Ben, off the cuff, but I think the spirit in it, what Brian's saying, is just for small day-to-day stuff, not for these large contracts. I think is Brian's intent.
And I think, and James and I were having a brief conversation before the meeting, we really have two kinds of contracts that you see. In the civil world, in the public works side of the world, those jobs are typically unit price bids. And two of those you'll see tonight. We've got two change orders that we're bringing before you tonight that are reconciling final quantities. Things happen, poles have to move, sidewalks, things happen. And at the end of the job, you've extended some items and deficited, is that a word? Another item. So there's an implied. In that situation, when you're dealing with a $300,000 job, you would have a $30,000 cap. I get your point that on a $15 million job, you're authorizing, a $1.5 million change order. On the flip side of that, when we deal with a construction project like our Justice Center or the one you're referencing, the indoor sports complex, that job we have, with the general contractor, we have built in contingencies in certain items. We basically have a lump sum price with them. And in that lump sum price, we will try, in some cases we will, in some cases we haven't. The sports complex is one of them. We didn't have a 10% contingency. We had about a 1 or 2%. Where's Travis? Is that right? So he's probably not listening to me. But the point is, in that case, we have a contingency fund. With a reconciliation quantity,
But we can't go over contract.
but we still can't go over the authorized amount.
And I think that's where you may be confusing them.
I'm sorry, if I am, yeah.
We can't go over contract.
You still can't go over the contract amount. You won't see it if you approved 15 million for Nabholz, unless it exceeds what you authorized. You are going to see almost every one of them in a unit price contract, is all I'm trying to say.
So if you do a contract for the Justice Center for $9 million, right? And you're telling me 100% that it can't go over $9 million unless there's a change order, correct?
That's true.
The total expenditure on that project cannot be not one dime more than what we authorized. Whenever we authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign, there is a dollar amount in there, and it cannot exceed that period, no matter how many change orders. It can't. Now, the thing that I want to ask, and I'm not trying to be a naysayer, but is this going to be an open forum for our bids to come in so low because they know they're automatically going to get that bothers me a little bit, is that we're saying, okay, yeah, just go ahead, just send us a change order for that amount, it's fine, I don't want a whole bunch of low bids round up here, and then we start increasing these bids with change orders.
But
No,
here's the deal.
I understand what you're going to say. Go ahead, though.
But we can't. These big jobs, we can't go over that amount, so.
Exactly.
And I'm telling you, they already do that.
Yeah.
They're
yeah,
price it low so they can change order you.
Yeah, they change order you to
this
death,
is
even with.
construction.
Even with the restrictions that we've got, we're change
Yes.
ordered to death.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
And everybody's pointing fingers at everyone.
yep.
So,
yep.
no, but we still couldn't go over that contract because that's what you authorized us. So if they came in low, they're not going to get any more until we went to council because we can't go over the contract amount, even if it is a change order. I
So-
think this is more day to day.
Yeah, and honestly, it's more on the unit price contracts. That's where we face things that we dig things up that we didn't know were there, and we have to make a change, typically in a very hurried timeline.
Stephen, I have never been one that wants to try to restrict day-to-day operations down to where that they've just got a hand around their neck. I just don't think that we need to do that. I think that we need to give everybody an opportunity to do their job as effectively and as efficiently as they can, but we still are charged with oversight. So where do the two start crossing, or where do the two walk down the road compatibly? That has always been a struggle.
Yeah, and Ed, to be honest with you, once, if it can't go over the contract, then I feel much better about
Yeah.
that. So, I mean,
Well,
if
it can't go over the contract.
If the Justice Center is $9 million and we get to the end and it's 10-1, then that, 1.1 would have to come before us. That's my concern, Corey. I think that would actually solve the problem that you was thinking as well. So if it doesn't go over the contract, then I'm good with it, so.
If it goes over that contract without a supplementary authorization from this council, they got more trouble than the council. They got legislative audit at that point. And that's just the way that it is. But, I want them to be able to do their job effectively and efficiently, because that government is so hard to do anything in anyway. And being able to save one dime means a lot to me, and sometimes that is the way to do it. Now, I don't think this mayor has ever had to experience it, and I don't know if Brian experienced it in his last round, but there has been times here where jobs were shut down when we was meeting once a month, waiting on a change order to be approved. That's not efficient. That's not good for the citizens. And, I've experienced both ends of it.
No, and Mr. Ed, I'm totally with you on this, so we're on the same page.
All right. Anybody else got any questions? If not, I need a motion from a member of the committee.
I'll make a motion to send to full council.
I need a second, please.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Tammy, please.
Long,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
A resolution declaring a structure located at 504 West Olive Street in the city of Cabot to constitute a public nuisance and condemn said structure. Laura?
All right, good evening. As you've seen in the packet, this property is located at 504 West Olive Street. It has been vacant for some time. It has not had water turned on since March of this year. We have tried to contact the owner of the property several times to have this property cleaned up, have the trailer removed, and we've had no luck with that. So that is why we are before you, so that we can get this piece of property cleaned up. As you can see in the pictures, it is in complete disarray. The property itself has a ton of items that need to be cleaned up. The neighbors have complained about it several times, so that is why we've brought this property before you. If you've got any questions, I can answer them. We have advertised this multiple times to notify any property owners of this hearing, and my office hasn't received anything.
I got a long email from one of the neighbors over there some weeks back, that I forwarded to Laura, to Chief Staley, and to the mayor on it, addressing some real concerns over there with this property in the community. I went over there that very day and looked at it, and I honestly do not think that the lady that emailed describing the conditions that they were having to put up with over there because of this, I don't think she exaggerated not one bit. I think she was right on target with it, Mayor.
I agree. I got the similar email, and when I went by there, these pictures don't do justice to it. It's even worse.
Anybody got any questions or comments to Laura about this? If you've not been by there, you should go. You should have gone. It's a mess. I do appreciate Laura being kind. She answered the lady right back and explained to her that they were on top of it and everything. And I got a very nice email back of appreciation for the way the staff was courteous to her and had seemed to be on top of it. So I appreciate that. I need a motion then.
Make a motion, we send this to full council.
I need a second. I got a motion, second. Tammy, please. Yes.
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 All righty. The next item is Laura Steele, and that is to enter into an agreement with Red River Dodge for the purchase of a vehicle. Laura?
Yes, as you can see in the packet, we are asking to amend the budget to be able to purchase a new Dodge Durango for the Code Enforcement Department. Currently, they are running on a 2005 Dodge Durango that was in essence, a hand-me-down from the police department after it was decommissioned, and then a 2007 single cab Chevy Silverado. Both of the current vehicles that they operate on, if not once a month, maybe twice a month, one of the vehicles is in the shop for something. Just 2 weeks ago, the 2005 was on the side of the road with one of the employees because it had lost complete power, and we had to have somebody come pick that person up and get the vehicle to the city shop. So this vehicle is on the state bid list. We've also added in there for the light bar to be put on the top, that all the, for caution lights, as well as the decals of the city emblems to be put on the vehicle as well.
Any questions about the vehicle purchase? Seeing none, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I've got a motion, I need a second.
Second.
A motion and a second. Tammy? Yes?
Yes.
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 Thank you, Laura. Appreciate it. All right, our next up is Brian. Resolution approving a change order agreement with Barger Excavating for the South Local Street project. Brian?
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Mr. Barger has, I submit to you a change order. This is a reconciliation of quantities, as we mentioned earlier. This is a unit price bid. His base bid was $299,851.88. The major change here is there was an unanticipated need for fill along the corridor. We did not anticipate, and it resulted in, you see the credits and balances. We removed one head wall and removed the undercut and added fill. So it did increase the project by 43.2. In this case, under the 10% rule, you would have seen this change order anyway because of the amount. That is all I have. Any questions?
Any questions?
I know it says Locust, but remind me approximately which section of Locust this is.
Yes, this is South Locust, which is named because this is right between the new hotels and Home Depot. On the long-range plan, RDOT has agreed to deed over to us the off-ramp section when they build the new spewey, and that aligns itself perfectly here, which will give us a west locus and a south locus. So there's a corridor continuation there, thus the name.
Any other questions? I need a motion.
Make a motion, we send it to full council.
Got a motion and a second. Tammy, please. Yes.
Hillenberg.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
All right, next item is a resolution authorizing mayor and city clerk treasurer .17 acres of real property along Panther Trail to the city of Cabot. Mayor?
Yes, sir. And this is what I forgot to tell you about that I told you when I came in. I had a meeting with the school, and if you look on page 2 of your packet, when you got this pretty colored map right here, you see the item in red, the red box square. We own this property right in the middle of the Cabot School District, and it's right on Crouch Field, right where the red concession stand is. It's .17 acres. It's enough to build, what, a small garden home or a small home on. But that's going to be the parking for their pre-K. That's where they're putting the south side pre-K that's going to house, I think, 400 children, 4-year-olds. And they're going to do a roundabout right there in that curve and another one in the other curve. But great plans, but they asked us, can we have that for our school? And I've talked to staff, I've talked to Ben, there's no other liens or anything on it. There's no gift to us that we had to hold it for a certain period of time. We don't feel like it's a cut through for a road or anything, and that the school, by law, we can do this if council approves. And we feel like this is something that is good for public health and safety and for the Cabot School District.
I'm just mystified how it come in our inventory to begin with.
Yeah, I don't know. It's back in the 60s, was it, Ben?
Yes, and ironically enough, Cabot Schools actually gave it to us. Way back when
They probably gave it to us for some sewer work or something. Probably if they owned it, they would do the sewer, so the school wouldn't have to pay for it. Probably, I don't know. Do you know how those things go back then? Or
Anybody got any questions, comments, or concerns on this?
But they would be much appreciated.
If not, I need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to send it to full council.
I got a motion, I need a second.
Second.
Motion and second. Tammy? Yes.
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 Moving right along. We got rid of the .17 acres, or anyway, we're going to get rid of it after a while, we hope. A resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk treasurer enter into agreement with WHP for a fire department training facility. Ryan, you're up again.
My only non-change order related presentation. It's actually quite exciting, and Chief Moore should probably do this, but they made me. We've taken 4 bids, quotes on this fire training facility. The time has finally come to start erecting some things on the site as we're moving the dirt work for the future training facility, police and fire training facility. We took 4 quotes. One we disqualified for a couple of reasons and left us 3. What we present to you from WHP is both the best and the lowest price. It was the choice of the chiefs. It is the one they wanted. So we're very fortunate. We feel very fortunate to bring a price before you that is well within our set-aside bond budget for the project.
Chief, you got any comments?
Nothing, just to echo what Brian had
No, I wouldn't be so quick to echo anything he says.
All
but-
right. Told you comic relief. Again, this is the company that we wanted to go with, as Brian alluded to, that we had 4 bids. One bid was just an apples and oranges comparison, and they were not very forthcoming with information. And then WHP has been great to work with so far. Just to add a little to it, we've been working on this project for over a year and a half, trying to get something lined up. And we had spoken with one of the companies that's in the bids that we looked at. And in that time frame, when we got ready to do what we want to do, it increased by 30%. So that's why that one kind of got tabled. And in the process, we found that this building, this company here is even a better product than what we were going to go with.
Anticipated start date of construction?
Brian?
He has said that would be available in 2 to 4 weeks to prepare drawings and 18 to 20 weeks for delivery. So I'm anticipating the beginning of second quarter. We'll have the pads ready before the end of the year. So we'll start. And by the way, the chiefs and I went to Siloam Springs. They have this facility. We were able to walk in and out of it, and it's pretty exciting. I've got videos if any of you are interested.
So anticipating taking possession of it by mid-year. Is that what I understood you to say?
I think it'll be, I'm saying second quarter of 2024.
That would be mid-year.
We'll definitely be pushing them.
Anybody got any questions?
I do have one question. Will this get us any closer as far as the requirements to become a first-class fire rating?
It does. It is one piece of the pie to that, for sure.
Very good.
With all of the exclusions that are listed there on the last page 3, is there still enough of a buffer there that will still fall under the 2.6 mil on the bond?
Yes.
So we won't see a change order?
I should have had you do this. We had them change some of these items. Most of these items are in the scope of work of different contractors, our site contractors and so forth. They've given us a pad-ready price. We'll have the pad ready. Does that answer your question?
Sir, but I do have one more.
Okay.
Maybe Chief can answer this one. An exterior 5-story chair. What is that?
Exterior,
Outside the 4-story?
Stairs, yes. So you have to have exterior stairs just due to the
5-story.
carcinogens. And it's a 4-story, and it may be a typo if you put 5-story.
Oh, I thought this went up above.
Yeah, not above, not above.
Okay.
But yeah, you have to have exterior stairs to be NFPA compliant.
Good stuff. Any other questions? Need a motion.
I'll make a motion to send to full council.
Second.
A motion and a second. Tammy, please. Yes.
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 Mr. Burrows, a resolution approving a change order for the Locust Street CDBG project to amend the general fund for 2023 and for other purposes.
I'm reluctant to say ditto, but in this one, you have the items in the pay request, just a reconciliation of the items in the right-hand column, bottom of the second page. $18,339.38 are the items that exceeded. You see the pluses and minuses through that overrun, underrun. That's how we track these projects on a monthly basis. So we had about 18.3 in change orders. We also, on this project, as you were well aware, I think last council meeting, we talked about a pole in the middle of an intersection and we had some significant delays that required some remobilizations for them to come in and come out. And probably the biggest part of this change order is when you're driving on Locust Street, I'm going to get in trouble because it's going to be too explanatory, but a street, it was a 2-lane street, and streets have a crown. And we added a lane on the north side, which the crown stayed on the left side, if you're looking west. So we had to pay a company to mill that asphalt off so that the crown, when we overlaid, be in the center of the street. That was in excess of the anticipated quantity pre-bid. So that's we reconcile some quantities, and then we have to pay for some of those other items, if that makes sense.
Can you quickly bring our recollection back around to change order number 1 in the amount of $3,700? I don't remember what that was.
If I recall, and I don't have it in my file, Ed, forgive me, that was concrete work at the entrance of the Housing Authority's
You're right.
complex. So there were some
Yeah, that's
there were
what it
some
was.
grades that were too shallow and it wouldn't drain, and we had to accommodate them.
Okay. And this is change order number 2 that we're discussing here now, correct?
Correct. And this is the final pay request.
This is it. When the mayor
Yes, sir.
signs that check, they're
Well,
on down.
this is also through the CDBG grant program.
Yeah.
300,000 of this job was paid for by
Right.
that grant. So we have to apply to the state for those final funds.
Any other questions, comments, or concerns on this? All right. If not, I need a motion.
Make a motion.
And I need a second.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Tammy, please.
Long,
Yes, ma'am?
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Mayor, that concludes my portion of it. It's been a real thrill. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chairman Long. Appreciate that. Now we'll move to Budget and Personnel Committee, Chairman Stephen Redd.
No, sir, we don't have any this time.
We're going to have the budget next month in December, so we'll be sending out some emails. I'll be working with Chairman Redd to figure out what makes sense. So just to let you know, it's that time again. Police and Fire Committee, Chairman James Reed.
Thank you, Mayor. Police and Fire does have one item on the list, a resolution approving of the Cabot Police Department's continued operation of the COPS Toy Patrol Program. And I'd like to call Captain Robbie Gibson to present this.
Thank you, Councilman, Mayor, for letting me speak. In 2012, the Cops Toy Patrol program began. At that time, it was ran under a nonprofit that was not tied to the city. The city police department is asking that the program now be ran through the city. All money will be deposited into the Cabot Police Department donation account. All money will be available for audit, which to me I think is a benefit. It'll be transparent, and it'll be able to keep track of a lot better. The toy program is called Cops Toy Patrol, which stands for Cabot Officers Playing Santa. In 2012, we started with 20 children. At that time, we had a budget of $100 per kid. The last few years, that has grown to 50 children at $200 each. So it's just a blessing. And what they do, we meet up once a year in December, and an officer will take a child. The children are pre-selected by the school district. We partner with the Cabot School District. The counselors pick the children. We're not involved in that. And officers take turns walking with the child through the store. We have a list in our hand that describes items they need, their clothing sizes, their shoe sizes, jacket sizes, and we walk around. First thing we do is we ask them to buy a gift for somebody else. They generally buy a gift for their parents or one of their siblings. After that, they buy an item they need. On there will be a list of items they need. It might be shoes or a jacket, and we'll know what size they need, and we'll select an item they need. After that, the kids get to spend all the rest of the money on themselves. And it's heartwarming, the smile on their face that they get to buy that G.I. Joe toy or that Barbie or something that they previously couldn't get. It's wonderful. We partner with Walmart to do that. Walmart reserves off the Garden Center for us. They also contribute almost every year. We apply for a grant, and they help us fund that as well. We'll be doing this year's Toy Patrol on December 14th at 6:30 p.m., again, at Cabot Walmart. If you pass this resolution, I would invite any council member to come and just sit back and watch and just smile and listen to it. I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Do we have any questions on city council?
I meant to add in that none of the funding for this is tax dollars. Every bit of this is strictly donations. No officers, or in the past, no officers were paid to do this unless they were currently on duty. Some of the patrol officers on duty would come and help, but the rest of the officers volunteered their time, and all the money was strictly donated from the businesses or individuals or the community, and it was not done from tax dollars.
Okay, Matt?
If Joe Citizen wants to make a donation toward this, will there be some sort of a link on the city website for the police department where they could, or is it just going to be like make the check payable to
I
Cabot
can
Police?
check and see if that's available. Right now, we know we can accept checks starting tomorrow if this resolution passes. Wrote out to the Cabot Police Department, and they just put in the memo line for the Cops Toy Patrol. But I'll talk to HR or somebody about putting a link to it.
Thank you.
Robbie, approximately how many kids do y'all help?
Last year, we did 50. This year, it's taking a little bit longer to get this rolling due to some unforeseen circumstances and funding, so it really depends on the funding. Our goal this year is 25 kids at least.
Is there any other questions? I'd entertain a motion to move into full council.
Make a motion, we send it to full council.
Second.
Tammy?
Yes.
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 I think fire could help you out. They got some puppy money.
Thank you, Mayor. That concludes.
Thank you, sir. Community Development Committee, Chairman Ed Long.
Oh, yes. One of the biggest things that's ever happened in the state of Arkansas is happening here on the 9th.
Amen.
Absolutely. If it doesn't make Fox News and CNN, I'll be surprised.
Oh, they've already interviewed us.
See, I saw some pictures of you getting up close and personal with a cow too, didn't I?
Yeah.
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 Chick-fil-A.
It was his pleasure.
Chick-fil-A Wednesday.
Yep, it is. Wednesday is for the community, soft opening, 12:30 to 2:30. If you'd like to come, and then Thursday it opens. So I think everyone's pretty excited about it. Military Affairs Committee, Chairman Ron Waymack.
I think the flag's looking good out there, Mayor.
Oh, yes. Lions Club, flags look good. Great job, Matt Weber and Lions Club, Stephen Redd, and other Lions that they're here on
I have
this
sponsorship
board.
forms here if anyone's interested. We've got plenty of sponsor forms here.
At general community input, if you share that, and like what they
Okay.
get. Okay. All right. Anything else, Mr. Waymack? Okay. General community input, now's the time if you'd like to approach the committee or the council, the mayor, and express anything or announce anything. Now's your time. Please approach the podium, state your name, and if you live in Cabot.
Mayor, I would like to add American Legion will be having a Veterans Day ceremony at 11 o'clock on the 11th
Yes, sir.
at the Legion Hall.
At their place?
Yes.
Okay.
Good evening.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Marna Short. I lived in Cabot 30 years over off Rockwood on Valley Road. And what I'm presenting to you is a hopeful suggestion because with the recent tree and wind damage that we had in our area, my street looked like a tornado zone, but it wasn't. But in light of that, what has happened is the case of property line boundaries and what we would call in general terms boundary trees, things like that. Who's responsible? You know, the trunk's on my side, the branches are on somebody, who takes it down? And things of that nature. There's a creek that runs through our neighborhood. Things that are natural things that were there when most of us moved there, and the property developers fenced in areas, and the older area of Valley and Ridge were fenced in first, and then Sun Terrace came in behind it. But what has happened with this tree situation is that people are saying, what do we do about it? One of the neighbors is concerned because huge branch just broke and fell down between but didn't drop. But if it drops on her roof. But the tree is over in the next yard. So it just has brought up questions, and my suggestion to the council and to the city is that we look at property survey situations. When I bought my house, because when we did, my husband and I, before he died, we got a copy of the property survey when we purchased our house with the contract. Not everybody does it, particularly in later years. But it did tell us, it had in it what was called a covenant. And it told us certain things that we were responsible for our property. And one of those was anything that related to utilities, natural, like the little stream running through it, the trees and so forth. But what's happened is, as neighborhoods change and people come in and go out, when something like this comes up, you get a neighbor saying, but wait a minute, it's your tree, but it's over our house. I had a gentleman who's probably pretty well known in this Cabot area who takes down trees and does things like that. His company's called Apple Tree. Some of you may know that. And he said, there's more danger in me pulling my cherry picker in there and running somebody up that tree and taking that branch down than to leave it alone. And I said, how can you say that? And he said, bluntly said, if the branch falls on the house, they have insurance. My insurance is not going to cover all this if it falls on their house because it doesn't have to come down. It's wedged like this between more branches. But what it started was a topic of conversation in my neighborhood about such things as this. For instance, in my yard, there's a creek that runs down, and if 8 springs open up in my backyard, I've got a little river running down my backyard, a creek. The neighbor next door at one point determined, not realizing what was going to happen, I don't think it was deliberate, blocked off their side where the water runs through. So backed up into my yard, under the deck, it was a little lake. We got that straightened out. It wasn't a problem. But what I want to suggest is this. There is a topic I would call natural phenomenon, if you want to call it for lack of a better term, that can happen in a neighborhood as trees grow, as terrain changes, floods come and go. We had public water board out there, and I don't know who all, for a month because of a broken water line that ran into the city, which runs under the road, and broke through the company doing the work, popular, well-known company, broke the main line. About a month, they were battling the street out there. Bringing that to everybody's attention is the fact that you can have tree disputes, water line disputes, fence disputes, you name it. And what I would suggest when I called down to the lady who directed me to come here tonight, she says, we don't have anything like this in Cabot. What it needs to be is a kind of general code or some way to address such things as this. This is my personal opinion, having lived in a much bigger city before coming here and living on military facilities as well. But when something like this happens, and when the neighbors are not in agreement who owes for what and who does what, I paid to have some tree taken down and removed so that they wouldn't be a problem. But in a situation like this where they're on the property line, and we went online and looked, and this would be called a boundary tree. It sits on the property line. But the trunk's on my side of a fence and the top's on the neighbor's side of the fence. So then we decide who's going to pay if that branch comes down. The tree man that I talked to says, leave it alone. Because when it comes down, it's going to be, somebody's insurance is going to pay for it if it drops. And I said, you're not helping me. He said, maybe you need to talk to somebody else, so that's why I'm here. But it brings up a subject that maybe cities don't think about as much. You do when you're in bigger cities like I've been in, but not so much here in Cabot. We're a neighborhood city. But I want us to think about those kind of things. I don't know if the city had any other comments about this from any other location, but my friend and I drove through Cabot. We saw an awful lot of trees laying on roofs, trees laying on fences, trees laying on vehicles. So I'm bringing it up to you tonight for consideration that we had some kind of code system that covers properties that fall into this catch-22, where it's part this property, on property lines. And I don't know that I wouldn't even say that everybody in my neighborhood has a property survey. I do. And it so happens that this tree, because it grew, is now where they've got a fence and I've got a fence, and they attached their wood fence to mine, which I didn't fuss about. But now the tree's growing up, and the branch broke over their side, and the trunk's on my side. But it brought up the subject. I'm not as concerned about what's happened as I am what could happen. So I'm just asking that those that are responsible for personal property, neighborhoods, those kind of things, think about a code of who's responsible.
Ma'am, we have our city attorney here. He's expert at the codes, already on the
Brother
books.
Ben over here?
This gentleman right here
Yeah,
in the
okay.
snazzy beard.
Okay.
Ben, can you kind of sum up where, as a city, where we are on this?
We actually already have, there exists something like that. It's called a small claims court. That's the reason we have small claims court. You don't have a lawyer that you can't handle with it. You go in there and they negotiate down in disputes all the time. It's not just Don, but we go in there and fill out that work and say, there's a tree threatening me, my neighbor, we can't decide who's responsible for it. Go for the judge will tell you who's wrong.
And so what you're telling me, though, each time that would come up, wherever it would come up, when it's on a common property line like that, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Then both parties have to go to small claims or do whatever they can?
Oh, no, it only takes one party to take it to small claims court. After that, the other party stuff may happen. But the city itself absolutely cannot referee boundaries. We just can't ahead of time. But that's why we have a court. And small claims court, like I said, it doesn't cost anything. You can't have a lawyer. It's just two individuals going in, leave the case with the judge.
Well, it won't be just two individuals, I have a feeling, before it's over. It may be several.
That's exactly why small claims court exists, and I'd encourage everybody like that to go.
Okay.
You can get the process started after this report by putting out an affidavit to small claims court. They have very good staff over there. If somebody who just handles just that, they'd be happy to help you.
Okay. It's awkward just because it's a common area. You know, if it was all mine or all, actually, my fence is inside my property, but they attach to it, which I don't care. But it's just the idea, but that's just one example. Probably there's going to be more, because it's, when that development was done, property fences were already going around the whole outer perimeter, okay? And they platted out, evidently, the land. This was done in the 72 to 74. And so I think what they did is they platted the land, and then fences went in, and then as people moved in, then they began to fill in around their own houses, you know? And so the major street lines there on Valley, Ridgewood, and Rockwood, they're all marked out. It's what brings out those boundaries. And people have moved in, moved out, and so those lines have gotten a little blurred. And I think that's it.
That's exactly what they do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? Matthew, would you like to share your, Stephen?
So as Matt had mentioned, the Cabot Lions Club does have the Field of Honor. Those flags are up from November the 4th to the 18th. I can tell you in the daytime, it looks pretty amazing, but at night, it'll bring a tear to your eye pretty fast. So those tags are $25, and if you want the flag with it, then it's $50, and I've got the forms up here. So but if you get a chance, definitely drive by and check it out. It is an amazing sight and a way for us to honor the folks that take care of us and have taken care of us in the past. So
You get a flag for your person with a tag for 25. If you want to keep the flag with the tag, it's 50. Correct?
you are 100% correct.
Okay. You didn't explain it very well.
That's why I'll let you do it.
Okay. Anybody else before we move to adjourn and go into our council meeting? Do I get a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Second.
I got a motion second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Adjourned at 7:25. 5-minute break. We'll start at 7:30. If everyone take their seat, it's 7:31. Where's Mr. Waymack? Okay. He's coming. What's up, buddy? Okay, it's 7:31. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. We're going to, if you'd stand with me, we're going to open up with prayer by Stephen Redd, and then the Pledge of Allegiance by James Reed.
If you'll bow your heads with me. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening, dear Lord. We thank you so much for this wonderful city that you've allowed us to live in, dear Lord. And we thank you for our citizens, dear Lord. We thank you for our administrations and our leadership, dear Lord. We ask you to be with us tonight to make the right decisions for our city and for our citizens and for many years to come, dear Lord. We're just so blessed that in the world we live in and the community we're able to be in. We ask forgiveness for our sins. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Will you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands.
Thank you. You may be seated. Tammy, can you call roll, please?
Long,
Here.
Spangler,
Here.
Red,
Present.
Hillenberg,
Here.
Coat,
Here.
Reed,
Here.
Weber,
Here.
Waymack.
Here.
All are present and accounted for. Next item is approval of minutes. We have two sets. We'll first start with the October 2nd, 2023 minutes.
Make a motion, we approve October 2nd, 2023 minutes.
Second.
We got a motion by Ed Long, a second by Stephen, to approve the October 2nd, 2023 minutes. Any discussion, changes, additions? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please. Tammy?
Long,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coat,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. Next item is October 16th, 2023 minutes. Council?
Motion to adopt the October 16, 2023 minutes.
Second.
That was Corey, right?
Corey and Matt,
Yeah.
so whichever one.
Okay, I heard Corey. We're going to do a motion by James Reed, second by Corey, to approve the October 16th, 2023 minutes. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please. Tammy?
Long,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg.
Yes.
Coat,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack.
Passes 8-0. Next item is to read ordinances and resolutions by title only.
Make a motion, we read ordinances and resolution by title only.
Second.
Got a motion by Stephen, second by Matt, to read ordinances and resolutions by title only. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please. Tammy?
Long,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg.
Yes.
Coat,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. First item of business, council, is city council old business. Item A, ordinance number 31 of 2023. Please, Tammy.
Number 31 of 2023, an ordinance to rezone Lot 15, Gateway Commercial, City of Cabot, Arkansas, from C-2 to I-1, amending the land use plan and for other purposes. Third reading.
Make a motion that we adopt ordinance number 31 of 2023.
Second.
I got a motion by Brandon, second by Corey, to adopt ordinance number 31 of 2023. Any discussion?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
I have discussion. Mr. Lemons, will you please? I'm concerned about this.
Yes, sir.
In April, we passed a update to our code to try to help organize these storage units in a more logical location. It came to us from the Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission asked us to allow storage units in I-1. This is C2. over there. Correct, Tim?
That is correct.
And you're asking for an island in there to be rezoned, plain, simple rezoned to I-1.
That is correct.
Then we're going to have C2 with an island of I-1 in it, okay? I fear that that's a slippery slope that we're getting ready to enter into. I'm afraid that we're going to have little I-1s all over C2s. My question to you is, what is your opinion on this since you've thought about it for a little while?
Actually, and my client is here tonight, both of them, we would not be here tonight if it wasn't for having to get the I-1 zoning to do what they want to do with their property. And just so you'll know what they're wanting to do, they would like to build a storage facility for RVs and for boats, a secure facility. This property is sandwiched between BC RV Repair and Kinko's. So it's a perfect use for what they're wanting to do. It's a perfect location. But we wouldn't be here tonight if it was not for the I-1 zoning. My clients, they've told me they really don't want the I-1 zoning, but it's the only way that we can get them to where they need to be.
I think the better way to handle this, if we had the ability to do it, and currently we don't, but I did have a discussion with Laura prior to the meeting, and Laura, I'm not trying to speak for you, but you assured me that you would approach the Planning Commission with this idea that I'm about to throw out. And that idea is to be able to do special use permits. That does two things. Number one, it leaves the ability for the Planning Commission to do it there at the Planning Commission. Not that I'm trying to get away from the City Council standing up and doing their job. I think everybody here knows that I promote the City Council doing their job probably more than what we do. But it makes things a little more expeditious when it comes to this kind of stuff. But more importantly, with a special use permit, if something happened and that did not go through, then our original zoning is still there. If we rezone this tonight to an I-1 in the middle of that C2, and for whatever reason that project did not fulfill, we still have that I-1 in the middle of the C2. That's what I'm concerned about, is we have a whole lot of little pockets like that starting to develop around. I don't think that is the spirit of the legislation that came to us in April from the Planning Commission. I'm not trying to speak for the council, but I will speak for myself. That is certainly not what I understood that we were trying to accomplish in April.
Ben, are we allowed to make an amendment to this or change verbiage to say only I-1, but only for RV storage or something? So you're kind of making a special use to it? Can the council do that?
Not at this time, no. If the code change clears, Planning Commission would come up before you. At that point, you're essentially accomplishing the same thing. But as we sit here right now tonight, no, we don't have to.
Tim, let me ask my final question, and I'll open it up for any more that probably want to contradict what I've said, and that's fine. I don't care. Would you be willing to table this tonight and let's look for a solution?
Absolutely. No problem at all. I would ask that we approach this very expeditiously if we could.
And I would too. And the conversation I had with Laura prior to the meeting tonight, I expressed that to her as well, and she expressed the same feelings back to me, that it is something that she would get through the Planning Commission, or at least get to the Planning Commission expeditiously. So I would, you know, I'm through. I'm not going to say anything else. I know some others probably want to say something, but I appreciate your graciousness. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Any other questions?
Council members?
It's like Mr. Long read my notes, because everything he said I had written down. I think the project fits there, but I'm not for rezoning it to I-1.
Right.
If we could do some sort of special use to where it reverts, if something falls through, I hope it doesn't, but I wouldn't be able to support the I-1.
No, and my clients, they totally agree with all your sentiments. We're here out of necessity tonight, and we appreciate the council looking to see if we could find an amicable solution to this. Be great. I would ask, though, I went back to the expeditiously, if you look at a timeline on this, if the Planning Commission looks at this at their November meeting, the change in legislation, and approves it, it would be before you in December. If we could get, theoretically, if we could get it approved, if it's approvable in December, not maybe going out on a limb, but if we could, then we could be back at the Planning Commission in January, and we've lost a couple of months, but it is the winter time, so, it's not all lost. But
I think the circumstances would be unique in the fact that it wouldn't be the first time we've had seen the project or the request for the rezoning. We're already familiar with it. I can't speak for anybody else, but I think we may be able to waive second and third, but we just have to wait and see.
would appreciate it if you could.
And I'm on the same page with Matt. I mean, this has been out here for a while, so, if we can get the special use permit and it all makes sense, and I'm good with pushing it through, so.
Well, at least, with the special use permit, the city, the staff, and the Planning Commission, they still have quite a bit of control as to whether a property is suitable for self-storage or not. So therefore, you're kind of getting the best of all worlds.
Laura, will they be able to go before the November planning if this takes place? Yes, he wants November. His property.
The special use permit, will that go before the November planning?
Because Ben, you're saying it has to be a code change first?
Yes, you have to do a code change first to allow it to happen. Now, this would be a little bit out of the ordinary, but what we could do to expedite a little bit. The Planning Commission acts with your authority doing what they do. So assuming there is a code change in November, and assuming that you approve it in December, you could also, acting with that authority, approve his special use permit in December.
Without them going to planning?
Yes, acting as the Planning Commission, that would require him, to submit an application for that after November, make sure the timing works for Laura, that kind of thing. But the council hasn't been this authority to act as the Planning Commission when it wants to. So if you wanted to expedite in that fashion, that could be done. Certain other things we have to do, that is an option.
If the staff got the legislation before the Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission said, yes, that's okay with us, and got it to us, and we approved it, then there's the change in it. And then at that point, in order to help expedite them, what you're saying is that the council then could set its own Planning Commission and go ahead and approve that with a special use permit on that, which would save about a month. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd have to waive second and third and invoke the mercy clause.
It would be several things that would have to happen before we get to that point, but then,
Yeah, right.
if everything lines up, then you could do that.
Ben, does it even have to go to the planning commission? Can we not just change the ordinance or the code?
Because of the way, that's a question, because of the way the code reads now, because it's the UPC, it is required to go to planning first. I mean, we could get really out there and try and carve out an exception to that, but it'd probably be better to go to planning because it involves UPC and then come here and see. But that's why it has to go back. Because those are these.
So you could have it ready for the November planning meeting.
We have the language right now. I don't want to speak for Laura, but yes, I think so.
Okay. Well, there's a motion and a second on the floor, so
So if we want the table, if that's what the council wants to do, we can withdraw the second and withdraw the motion.
I withdraw my second.
Tim needs to make formal motion to ask the council to table it, so, and he's not done that yet. He just answered one of my long-winded questions, is all he's done.
Yes, we're fine. We formally request that this be tabled at tonight's meeting so we can evaluate other options.
All right, I'll withdraw my second.
I withdraw my motion.
Okay, let the record show the second and the motion has been withdrawn. Do I got a motion to table this?
Motion to table it.
Second.
I got a motion from Stephen, a second from Matt, to table ordinance number 31 of 2023.
And, Mr. Mayor, specify not to the next meeting, but to the first consideration.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I would like to add one more comment. I was on
Yes, sir.
the Planning Commission when this began development. And the first piece of the puzzle was the RV repair center. The second piece of the puzzle was RV sales. The third piece of that puzzle from the original design of the whole parcel was to put in storage. So this is following what was begun 8 years ago.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's going to look nice.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that my position on this is crystal clear. I am not opposed to the project. I am opposed to our procedure. I think that we have a slight flaw in our procedure on getting Tim where he needs to be on that, and I think that the special use permit was probably overlooked in the change of the legislation to begin with. I think if we'd have slowed down and thought about it a little bit more, Ben, I think we would have solved that problem then. We didn't, so we got to solve it now. And I appreciate that we've got Tim and his client that is willing to work with us on this.
So I have a motion and a second on the floor to table. Any other further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes?
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack, Long,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you,
sir.
council. Appreciate your willingness to work with us.
Any other old business? Seeing none, we'll move on to new business. Ordinance number 33 of 2023. Please, Tammy.
Number 33 of 2023, an ordinance to rezone part of Lot 1, McClellan Storage Edition, City of Cabot, Lonoke County, Arkansas, from C-2 to I-1, amending the land use plan and for other purposes, first reading.
Is this another one of those that we need to?
This is some more of the same, except it's different, because we have already rezoned part of that out there, and they do have storage buildings on
Okay.
it already.
Okay.
This is just an expansion of their current area.
Okay.
Is all that is. Laura, am I correct? That's all that it is. It's not asking for anything new out there.
Okay.
They have just decided to add more units, and because of that, it will step outside of what we rezoned previously.
Okay, so administration doesn't need to worry about this one. Okay. Next item, ordinance number 34 of 2023. Please, Tammy.
Number 34 of 2023, an ordinance to amend Section 2-579 of the Code of Cabot, declaring an emergency and for other purposes, first reading.
Mayor, I make a motion that we suspend the second and third reading of ordinance 34, 2023.
I got a motion from Ed to suspend the second and third reading of ordinance number 34 of 2023. Any seconds?
I'll second it.
I got a motion to second to suspend ordinance number 34 of 2023. Any discussion? All in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Spangler,
No.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
No.
Coe,
No.
Reed.
No.
Fails 4-4. Next item, resolution number 57 of 2023. Please, Tammy.
Number 57 of 2023, a resolution declaring the structure located at 504 West Olive Street in the city of Cabot to constitute a public nuisance and condemning said structure, providing a period of time for the property owners to abate said nuisance, and for other purposes.
Make a motion, we adopt Resolution 57 of 2023.
Second.
Got a motion from Matt, a second by Brandon, to adopt resolution number 57 of 2023. Any discussion by council? Anybody in the audience? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. Next resolution is number 58 of 2023. Please, Tammy.
58 of 2023, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk treasurer to enter into agreement with Red River Dodge for the purchase of a vehicle to amend the general fund of the 2023 annual operating budget and for other purposes.
Make a motion, we adopt resolution number 58 of 2023.
Second.
Who is that second? Ron, okay. Got a motion from James, a second by Ron, to adopt resolution number 58 of 2023. Any discussion by council? Anybody in the audience? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Red.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. Next item, resolution number 59 of 2023. Please, Tammy.
Number 59 of 2023, a resolution approving a change order to the city's agreement with Barger Excavating, Inc. for the South Locust Street project and for other purposes.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 59 of 2023.
Second.
Got a motion from James, a second from Brandon, to adopt resolution number 59 of 2023. Any discussion? Seeing none, anybody in the audience? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Spangler.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. Next item, resolution number 60 of 2023. Please, Tammy.
Number 60 of 2023, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk treasurer to donate .17 acres of real property along Panther Trail to the Cabot School District and for other purposes.
I'll make a motion, we adopt resolution 60 of 2023.
Second.
I got a motion from Stephen, a second from Maggie, to adopt resolution number 60 of 2023. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'm sorry, the audience, anyone? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Spangler,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. Next item is resolution number 61 of 2023. Please, Tammy.
Number 61 of 2023, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk treasurer to enter into an agreement with WHP for a fire department training facility and for other purposes.
A motion that we adopt resolution number 61 of 2023.
Second.
I got a motion from James, a second by Stephen, to adopt resolution number 61 of 2023. Any discussion? See none, any by the audience? See none, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Long,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. Next item, resolution number 62 of 2023, please, Tammy.
Number 62 of 2023, a resolution approving a change order for the Locust Street CDBG project to amend the general fund of the 2023 annual operating budget and for other purposes.
Any action, council?
Well,
I'll
I'll
make a
go ahead
motion
and
we
make a
adopt
motion to
62 of
adopt
2023.
resolution, and I'll second his.
I got a motion by Ed Long, second by Matt Weber, to adopt resolution number 62 of 2023. Any discussion? Any by the audience? See none, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes?
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack.
Yes.
Long, Spangler.
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. The last item that I have for new business, council, is resolution number 63 of 2023. Please, Tammy.
Number 63 of 2023, a resolution approving the Cabot Police Department's continued operation of the COPS Toy Patrol Program and for other purposes.
Make a motion, we adopt resolution number 63 of 2023.
Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
Second.
I got a motion by Matt Weber, second by James Reed, third by Stephen Redd, fourth by Maggie. Yeah, okay. In discussion, Ed states he'd like the whole council to be co-sponsors. Can we just add that for the record without any official action?
Technically, we probably need to amend it, just do a quick vote to amend to add it as a sponsor.
Okay, so would James Reed, would you remove your second?
Yes.
Matt Weber, would you move your motion? Okay.
Mayor, I make a motion. May I make a motion, sir?
Yes, sir.
Who is turning this thing up on me? I make a motion that the council become co-sponsors of resolution number 63, the whole council.
Second.
I got a motion by Zumbawa, Ed, and second by Corey to amend resolution number 63 of 2023 to include the council, full council's co-sponsor of resolution number 63 of 2023. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please. Tammy.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack.
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Red.
Yes.
Passes 8-0.
I'll make a motion, we adopt resolution 63 of 2023.
Second.
Amended 60.
I make a motion, we adopt amended
There you go.
motion of 63 of 2023, yes.
Second.
Who is the second? Okay. I got a motion from Stephen Redd to adopt the amended resolution number 63 of 2023 and a second by James Reed. Any further discussion?
I bet Robbie wishes we'd get out of our own way on this.
Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please, council.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack.
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Red.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. I have no other new business, council. Does anyone have anything to add?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
And this may be a question for Chief Steely. What kind of preparations has the police department done for Chick-fil-A on Thursday? I know we got Remax grand opening, free air balloons, and then Chick-fil-A. I figure
Yes.
downtown's going to be a madhouse.
Chief, would you come up? They've been meeting with the management, and Chief, go ahead, and we have a resolution, an amendment, not a resolution, a memorandum of understanding with Chick-fil-A, and then other plans. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have a security contract with Chick-fil-A initially to get us through this first weekend. I think at any given time, the least amount of officers we're going to have out there will be 2. We have 5 at some points. We were out there all day today working on the traffic plan to finalize some things. Met with Chick-fil-A again today. We're ready.
You will see that on CNN probably tonight or tomorrow.
How many do they think's going to be through there this weekend? Do you know?
They don't know, but there's a chance they're thinking they could break national records.
Yeah.
Here. So
it's very possible.
We'll just have to see what happens.
Any other questions?
Any other for Chief Steely regarding Chick-fil-A or the balloons from Remax? Seeing none. Any other community input? I guess it's in time you can go home and watch the second half of the Hog game, but my son just texted me and said, "Dad, we're going to win the national championship." So I guess we must be looking good. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Second.
I got a motion from Stephen, a second from Matt. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.